We got Randy Travis produced Shane Owens with us today on the Music Universe podcast. Oh, hey man, how's it going?
Oh, it goes really, really well. I'm getting used to this. I'm just getting used to the downtime. And somebody said something today on Facebook that I thought was really interesting. When we can all move around the world again, every airplane is going to be full. Every restaurant is going to be a 2-week wait for reservations. Every movie theater will be jam-packed. People will get out and it will be a strong rebound with consumerism.
Oh yeah, it's going to be bigger than it was. And I feel like we were finally out of a recession. So I'll tell you what, this has kind of put me in a thinking mode. Just started looking at the stock market and investing. So if you haven't done that yet, you should. And by no means are we being sponsored by anyone, but download that Robinhood app, dude. I've done it, invested a little money, and it's a little nerve-wracking at times, but it hasn't been a lot. Just a few $100 just to kind of see what happens. And you can sell it at any time. So wait till that economy gets back up and these businesses are booming, and you might be making some bank on some of this stuff. Just depends.
Absolutely. It terrifies me. I don't understand, like, if stocks go way under, do you lose just your investment, or is there more money that gets lost? I don't understand the financial markets at all. So
I don't fully either, and I had a few friends that just kind of presented this to me, and then I started looking at it. It's like, oh, okay. I believe, and I could be wrong, and God, I hope I'm right, that if it goes under, you're just out the money that you lost, and not out money that you would need to make up for. But none of my investments are enough to like bankrupt me or anything if that would happen. Just a few little stocks here and there just to kind of test the market and see how it goes.
I was thinking the same thing. Like I said, I won't mention any specific companies or whatever, but there are industries right now that are obviously hurting, that as soon as it goes back up, you'll see dividends from it. So I'm thinking of investing in one or two little places as well, but especially just in this climate. But I have to investigate it a little more. Maybe I'll download that Robinhood app. Maybe it's like a investment for dummies type thing and can help me out.
It kind of is, and I'll send you the link because when you share it, you actually get free stock. If you sign up, I get a free stock.
Oh, so, cool.
If you don't mind, I'll send it to you, and then you can send it to the next person. So we'll do that. But that's kind of
welcome to Market Watch with the Music Universe.
Well, no, I mean, I was just kind of saying that's one of the quarantined things I've been doing. So I've just kind of gotten into that, as well as we've been booking a slew of interviews for the podcast. So it's really cool that we've gotten some interviews rather than just you and I chit-chatting back and forth. So we're really excited about today's guest, though.
We are. He has won a ton of awards, is one of the artists to watch, and he is a champion of classic traditional country music.
What they call neo-traditionalism here.
Indeed.
He's been, as I mentioned, produced by Randy Travis. He's Music Row's Independent Artist of the Year for 2018. He's been on the Grand Ole Opry a few times, multiple appearances at the CMA Music Fest. Let's hope this year's continues, and he'll be a part of that. He was named one of Rolling Stone Country's magazine's 10 new country artists you need to know. His name is none other than Shane Owens. And he took time during the quarantine to chat with us. And I think he's kind of used to being quarantined, by the way I take it during his interviews. So
he lives
we're all getting
there.
used to it. Yeah, we're getting used to it. He's used to it. He's having fun living the country life. And let's get down to it. Here's our interview with Shane Owens. How's it going, Shane? You enjoying your isolation?
Yeah, we are, man. Luckily for me, I live out in the woods, and we got plenty of places to turkey hunt and fish. So we've fished for the last 3 days in a row, and just about filled the freezer up. So everything's great.
Not going stir crazy yet?
Yeah, we do a lot of bass fishing and brim fishing and everything like that. So we're unfortunately, the world's in an uproar. But man, we from when you live out in the country, we pretty much do what we want to.
And you're always isolated.
Absolutely.
Has your area, obviously a very rural area, has it become even more like a ghost town? Like, is it quieter than
Oh yeah,
usual?
this crisis going on in our nation right now, I think is got a lot of people's attention. If you don't heed the warnings, this virus going around, it's pretty tough on people that are elderly and people in the latter stages of COPD and stuff like that. But it's definitely a lot quieter in our small town. It's quiet anyway, but it's you can go right uptown and you don't see many people out as you usually do.
No, that's true. It's eerie. It's eerie, man. How are the gigs? I mean, I'm sure you probably had a lot canceled, but how's the end of the year looking for you? How's this changed your career, your touring life?
Well, it's everybody's set back a little bit. We canceled I think 10 shows from all over Texas and all over the United States, and we just dropped a brand new single, so it's going to put a damper on things. But we got to, like I said, heed the warnings, keep everybody safe, and that's the main goal. But it's kind of hard for me because I love being out on the road, love playing country music, and like I say, we're all forced to do something we're not used to, but it's going to change the touring, definitely. When you can't get out there and sell your CDs and merchandise, it makes a big difference. But if the good Lord's willing, all this blows over soon, everything will get back to normal.
Yeah. Now you said they were canceled. Are you gonna hope to reschedule
Yeah,
them?
I mean, some of them just been postponed for the most part. We book 2 or 3, 4 months out in advance, so sometimes it's hard just to reschedule them right off the bat. I know several of the
Sure.
festivals we had booked are already are just on hold. When we get an open date, we want to go back and do all those. When you book out 4, 3, 4, 5 months in advance, it's kind of hard to shuffle them back around. But we'll stay true to those dates, and our fans and all our friends out there at country radio and all across the nation.
Now let's talk business for a minute. And apologies to get personal right off the bat, but you seem like a down to earth person. How's this affected business and income? I mean, you can't ever prepare. I mean, a lot of you hear stories in the news about how big festivals didn't even have, infectious disease, act of God insurance, or if they had act of God, maybe it didn't fall under infectious disease, didn't fall under that. How are you doing? Are you always, when you're going on these gigs, always trying to save up for that moment where it dries up? And is that always something in the back of your mind, or did this catch you off guard in that way? How are you doing on the business end?
I always plan for the future. I think it's best for everybody to put back if you're in a situation where you can put back, and we've been able to do that. It's unfortunate for some people,
Mm-hmm.
that this crisis in our country is going on. But I know at the end of the day, we put that in the good Lord's hands. We've got great world leaders out there trying to figure this thing out. My advice to everybody is just to calm down and heed the warnings. Do the social distancing like they're telling us to do, and just pray to the good Lord above. Everything's going to be okay, and I think everything will be okay. We just got to try as a nation not to panic and lean on one another that are having trouble fighting this virus off due to underlying conditions. But it's going to affect everybody. It's going to affect all the artists out there. It's going to affect everybody, all these venues that scrounge to get big acts up, national acts to come in and draw a crowd. It's going to hurt everybody, but I believe as a nation we're strong enough to bounce back.
Absolutely. And one thing that I can say as far as country music goes, they're just a great community. So being able to be in that community is just, one of those things that you don't really have a whole lot to worry about if you look at it that way, because you're just in a great group of artists and industry people that just are going to reach out and help everybody whenever they need
Well,
it.
absolutely. I think a lot of artists like myself, we grew up singing gospel music, and then There's a lot of similarity between gospel music and country music. We write our songs from the heart and what we live everyday life, and tragedies and crises, just like stuff that's going on now. I think the country music fans are the greatest fans on earth, and everybody like yourselves that takes time out of your day to do these interviews with us. I mean, that's what life's all about: leaning on one another and staying positive. And country music songs, and I know a lot of country artists I've had the privilege to share the stage with over the years. Some of them are no longer with us, like George Jones, Merle Haggard, so many legendary country artists that come before us. Just stay true to your roots and be kind to people, and it's all about respect and having, that's one thing I love about country music as a whole. Whether you're an artist or somebody doing an interview, or somebody that works at radio, or friends or fans, everybody's all in it together.
Yeah. So, what has the fan response for you? You obviously probably have a very, very loyal fan base. You're so accomplished. In our introduction to you, we'll have rattled off all of the awards and the accomplishments and the recognitions that you've been getting. And so I'm sure your fan base is very strong and very loyal. Has anybody reached out to you? What have they been, what has the response been to people that want to make that socially distant virtual
Well, we
connection
have
with you?
people reach out, fans and friends reach out to us on a daily basis. I love to hear from all those friends and fans at country radio out there and all across the nation, and love to know how they're doing in a time of crisis like this. We're going to start next Thursday for the next 3 weeks doing a free show on the internet. We'll do it every Thursday night from 6 to 7. It's a free show for everybody that's stuck at home. And social media is the way to keep up with everything going on in the country music artist's life and times right now, for sure. Social media has opened up a lot of different avenues for artists and people to do business on and everything like that. But we're gonna give back to all those loyal friends and fans we've got. We've got such a great fan base, and we've been so blessed through the years to still be making traditional country music. And there's millions of people out there that love traditional country music. I think the pendulum of traditional country music is swinging back our way, and we're going to be just fine.
I agree. And you just a few months ago, back in December, released Thankful for Country Music. I think that statement is more prominent now than it ever
Absolutely.
has
If you
been.
love traditional country music, you're going to love this record. Some of the best songwriters on the planet, some of the best musicians in Nashville, from Nashville all the way to Texas, some of the biggest songwriters that are friends of mine. We've been so blessed to play the Grand Ole Opry, working on a third time, getting it scheduled. And, we've just been very blessed. And in times like this, you sit back and realize how blessed you are, and just how many people love what you're doing and love your music. And it makes me strive to carry on and so-called be the torchbearer for traditional country music as well.
Who are your influences? When you say traditional country music, of course, I'm a big traditional country music fan, but who do you turn to specifically and say, that's the kind of music I want to play, but I want to do it my way?
Well, Randy Travis is not only one of my good friends. He produced my last record, Country Music Hall of Famer. When I made my Grand Ole Opry debut, I got to bring Randy out with me. And it's such an honor to be able to work with such a legendary Country Music Hall of Famer. But my favorite singer of all time, as much as I love and respect Randy and Haggard and Jones and Vern Gods and Keith Whitley is my favorite singer of all time. I think there'll never be another singer like Keith Whitley. He had such a great voice. But I love all the Alan Jackson and George Strait stuff. There's so many people through the '90s that broke out that I idolized. If you listen to my records, you can hear some of those influences.
Absolutely. And you're from Texas, right?
Well, I actually grew up in Alabama.
Oh, wow.
But my label is based out of Texas and Nashville, Merrimont Records. We do a lot of touring out in Texas. And I tell everybody, it's funny you mentioned that if I could be from anywhere else, it'd be from Texas, because Texas and Alabama, we have a lot in common.
You do. Reason I ask, and buddy, I know you want to jump in here, but the reason I ask is two of my favorite traditional or neo-traditional, because of the whole urban cowboy thing, artists are Mickey Gilley and Mo Bandy. And so I just was wondering if that played into anything, or if you ever got to work with those guys, because, I know that Texas country music, that traditional thing, it's like its own world, its own little independent island of country music, if you will.
Those are two of the biggest stars ever. Back when Mo was with Mo Bandy was with Joe Stampley.
Yep.
Mo and Joe. I actually wrote a couple of songs with Joe's son. Just last year. Tony
Hmm.
Stampley, he's a great songwriter, great guy. Reminds me a lot of his dad. But those singers like that, you don't hear them every day anymore. I think with the passing of so many of our big stars like George Jones and recently Kenny Rogers, those singers are the last of a dying breed. You don't hear that
Hmm.
often anymore, and I think that's one reason people are starving for traditional country songs on the radio. It's very seldom that you hear a great country song with a fiddle and a steel guitar, and I think there's millions of people all over the United States that are missing that sound, and I think that's one reason our records are doing so well.
I agree. I'm not really into a lot of the modern country unless it's the neo traditional stuff. Like I grew up on '90s country, so that to me is my kind of country. But having that fiddle, having that steel guitar, that man, that just there's something about that just takes you back. It's giving me chills talking about it. So this music is just one of those things that it's like, man, I'm glad it's resorting back to that because it needed to be changed back.
Absolutely. That's one of the most common questions I get asked. How do I feel about today's country music? Everybody's talented in their own way, and if the good Lord made us all the same, it'd be quite boring. But I'm
Yeah.
absolutely thankful that I grew up on traditional country music and some of my heroes. I like so many of the artists I've already mentioned. I've always refused to do anything different or sway out of my comfort zone, and we've been so blessed to make traditional country music.
Yeah, and you mentioned earlier too that you have a gospel background, and a lot of gospel music, country music are a lot alike as far as you write from the heart. Who are some of your gospel influences growing up that you just realize, I gotta go, I really gotta write and I really gotta perform.
Absolutely. I love gospel music. Every Sunday on our Facebook page at 6:30, we go live and do some old gospel tunes. And I think one of my biggest
Mm.
influences that I didn't mention was my grandmother. She played the piano in church, and I thank her for a lot of the talent she bestowed upon me. I got a lot of my talent singing and playing from her. So she's one of my biggest influences for sure.
I have to ask. Going back to the whole traditional versus modern versus '90s. What do you make of the fact that there is even a debate about what is better? I mean, to me, it's all music, right?
Well, it's all music, like I say. Everybody's talented in their own way, and that's what makes the world go round. And I got so much respect for anybody out there that tours and does anywhere from 260 to 300 dates a year. It's a grind. And
Hmm.
I got respect for anybody that does that. But I mean, if you grew up on the old, what I call old school country, like the Haggard and the Jones and the Vern Gods and all that stuff, today they go in and record with a lot of twin guitars. You don't hear a whole lot of steel guitar anymore and fiddle. And it's sad to say that, but you got a few artists like myself out there that are keeping it traditional. And like I said, there's always going to be traditional country music fans out there to the end of time that appreciate what we're doing, and we're just awful humbled and lucky that they enjoy traditional country music still.
Absolutely.
You know, I have to ask, what are you taking this downtime, this sort of forced downtime to do? I mean, for creative people, I know you never stop, and you've worked with so many great people. You have made such a name for yourself, and you released the record recently. But are the juices flowing on new music? What are you doing creatively during this sort of homebound time that we're seeing?
Thank goodness for the telephone and social media. I'm still writing over the phone with some of the best writers in Nashville, getting ready for our next album, which will be it's still a year or two away. We just released, but we're always hunting new material.
Hmm.
We're always writing new material. We never stop chipping away at new songs and stuff that I've got so many writers in Nashville now since I've got a little bit established that pitch me stuff all the time. I was actually yesterday going through a lot of songs pitched to me, just listening down to stuff. When you got 300 or 400 songs pitched to you, it takes about a couple of weeks to listen to all that material. But you never
Oh
want to
yeah.
ignore anybody that's pitching any songs because there's a lot of talent out there in Nashville and all over the place. People send me songs and I'm always willing to listen.
How do you avoid burning yourself out when you listen to those songs? I mean, because I could imagine there'd be an advantage if it was the first of the session of the day versus like, oh my gosh, I just got through 50 and let's do 51. How do you avoid that burnout?
I take what I do is break it up into increments. I'll listen to 15 or 20 songs, then I'll stop and just go and I'll listen to those songs for a couple of days, and then I'll just not listening for a couple of days, then go listen to 15 or 20 more, and I'll know by the demo the first verse and the chorus in if it's something I want to cut, because like I say, it's got to have that stone cold, hardcore traditional country sound for me to even be interested in it anyway. But I get a lot of stuff sent to me and a lot of songs, MP3 to me that are great. It's great material. There's lots of great songwriters out there all over the nation. You'd be surprised at how much talent there is out there. It's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, definitely. And you've appeared on the Grand Ole Opry a few times since 2017, but also the CMA Music Fest. Are you, given that does move on in June, are you planning an appearance this year?
Well, if everything goes fine, we've got 5 or 6, maybe possibly 7, 8 different appearances. We do CMA Fest for the last 5 years running. We just got through with the country radio seminar that went real well. But everybody always looks forward to CMA Fest. And I'm hoping all this stuff is over and behind us, and we can move on and start living again, and not have to be stuck at home, and everybody can get out and just as a nation put this behind us. And it's unfortunate we've lost a lot of people due to this virus, but I want everybody to get back to living and pray to the good Lord above that He'll see fit for us to be able to perform at CMA Fest.
Amen. And I hope your music brings some solitude and some peace and can heal us, because I think there's no more healing music than traditional country and gospel. And we just want you to keep doing what you're doing. And thank you so much for spending this time with us today.
I appreciate it, guys. Y'all stay safe and sanitize, and tell everybody to go ShaneOwensCountryMusic.com and check us out on the Facebook page for the next 3 weeks. Thursday afternoon, we're going to be going live at 6 o'clock for a free show for everybody to enjoy, man.
Thank you so much. Wish you the best. Stay safe.
God bless. Y'all stay safe.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Shane Owens, super nice guy and all encompassing of the earth and living out there hunting and fishing. And hey, that's cool that he's able to do that. I'm not into that kind of stuff myself, so I don't even think, even if I lived on a farm or had a piece of land, that I would even take advantage of that. I would still buy my meat prepped for me.
Exactly. These skills that people thought, oh, geez, why are you doing that? Why are you, like, hunting? People think, oh, yeah, hunting's big around here where I am in Pennsylvania. It's huge. I mean, we get off when I was in school, elementary, middle, and high school. Not so much high school. I went to high school in a city, but around here, the first day of hunting season is a holiday. So,
oh, yeah.
So everybody would take off and go hunting. And I mean, camo was a fashion statement. Now, I grew up, one of the stupid little shows that I would watch, well, I watch when I'm bored, those stupid reality shows, there's the Extreme Couponers show on TLC. I think they should bring it back now that we're all in quarantine. And just to rub it in our face, I put on Facebook the other day, I said, those Extreme Couponers don't seem so crazy now, huh? Because you got all these people with the stockpiles. They don't have to go anywhere till August. It's
they're ready. They've been ready.
And my dad is he's going to kill me for saying this, but he's kind of like a mini prepper. He just, with his job and what his career's been, he's always wanted us to be prepared just in case there were any problems. And nowadays, it was really so surreal. We needed a grocery run, and he was like, you all stay in. I'm the only one risking it. Because get this, the grocery store where I live, there's one grocery store that doesn't have it because they're kind of older, family-owned. But the corporate grocery store around here has the really great order online, pickup, curbside drive-through. And you would think that would be a great thing around this time. Well, because grocery stores are so picked full, they can't keep inventory of what they have and what they don't have. Their inventory doesn't correspond with the online ordering system that they have. So they had to shut it down. So now in the time of coronavirus, when we're all trying to keep ourselves socially distanced, not touch too much, in terms of things in public. You have to go into this grocery store because they don't know what they have. You have to go in and go shopping. And he said,
Right.
I'm just going. And it was this really surreal moment because I was like, wait till 3, I'll go along for the ride. Because I hadn't been out of the house for like 5 days at that point. And he was like, no, I'm going now. And I want you guys to stay in. And it's like we're in a movie. It's insane.
I know. I wish my daughter listened as well as you do.
She goes.
Because I say, I'm going. Oh, she has to go. I'm like, no, let me go. Let me go. Because I'll do the online shopping. But you don't. A lot of it now, you can't even get online. It says in-store only. So you have to go to see what you can get. And it's sad. So I'll go and like I tried to go to a store last night. It was just after 6 and I pull up and they're already closed. Like, I forgot. They're limiting hours. You know, it's the new normal that we have to get used to. How long this is going to last, who knows? But it's just something I guess we're just going to have to get used to. So I'm trying to do my best to, when you have a car and you drive, it's just easy to just hop in it and go do what you need. Now you're trying to not do that as much and try to do as much online stuff as you can for pickup. So we're living in a little bigger town that we have pretty much every store imaginable. Mm-hmm. It's easy to do that, but when there's necessities that you need that you can't get or it says available in store, limited stock, then it kind of sucks because now you're like, okay, now I have to go.
Yeah. Right before Amazon started limiting non-essentials, now I don't think this stuff would be considered non-essential, but the kind of items you would typically pick up in a grocery store, I ordered from Amazon, and I'd never done that in a drugstore rather. I'd never done that before. I'd never ordered my drugstore necessities from Amazon, but I wasn't going to have, because I don't drive, I wasn't going to have somebody go out for me or take me to a drugstore to go in to touch things, to pick it up. I just was ordering, and actually it's cheaper to order some of these things online than it is now in the store, both because it's Amazon and also because stores are marking things up to kind of keep...
And that's illegal.
Well, no, the gouging
Price
is...
gouging
Gouging
illegal.
is, but marking things up a little bit because of the demand and the supply, and to try to discourage people who don't really need it but are trying to extreme coupon and do their stockpile away, that's actually a good thing. But if they're gouging it, these doubling and tripling of some things is not good. That's illegal. But raising it a little bit based on demand, I actually think keeps people safe because it makes them think twice.
That's the economy anyway. But when they're price gouging, and I haven't seen any myself, but I've seen photos, you might find milk that is double the price at some places, and then you need to report that because that's definitely price gouging.
All right. Well, not only did we give you a great country music interview, we gave you some great economic and stock market tips today.
Hey, what are we supposed to do? We're quarantined. We got a lot of time on our hands.
And I'm still sitting here in my Grinch t-shirt and eating my Reese's Easter eggs, and with not a care in the world, folks. Just get through it.
There you go.
See the positive side, and we'll see you next time.
Take care, guys. I'm Buddy.
And I'm Matt.
This is the Music Universe Podcast.